We thought we were just renting a house near Kruger National Park, but every single day wild animals started turning up at our door, and that was before we even went on a real safari. We're a couple from the UK, spending a few days in Marloth Park, right on the edge of Kruger National Park in South Africa, and we had no idea just how close to the wildlife we really were. This wasn't a safari lodge, this was just a normal house, or so we thought. So the next step was a real safari. We were picked up early in the morning and taken into Kruger in an open safari vehicle. It's a completely different experience being out there in the park itself. You're not just watching wildlife, you're in their world. Our guide helped us find lions hidden in the bush, but they were already surrounded by safari vehicles. We weren't sure we'd even get a clear view, but then we managed to get the shot. There was a male and a female lion resting under the bushes, but with so many safari vehicles around, it wasn't easy to get a clear view. That's the thing when there are big cats nearby. Everyone wants to get close. Kruger National Park is home to around 1,500 to 1,700 lions, one of the largest populations in Africa. And when you see them out here like this, you realise just how special that is. We were just happy to have seen one of the big five: lion, leopard, rhino, elephant and buffalo, the animals everyone hopes to see on safari. And to experience that out here in Kruger was something really special. I honestly had to pinch myself. Being out here in the African bush, looking for wildlife, coming from the UK, it just feels unreal. We're so lucky to be experiencing this. Next up, we saw zebra, and seeing them this close, right near the safari truck, was something else. Every zebra has its own unique stripe pattern. No two are ever the same, and despite looking calm, they're actually incredibly fast. We carried on with the game drive, slowly making our way through the bush, not really knowing what we were going to see next. That's the thing about being out here, anything can appear at any moment. Then we spotted giraffe, the tallest animals in Kruger. Seeing them move through the bush like this is just incredible. They can grow up to nearly 6 meters tall, and even with those long necks, they only have 7 vertebrae, just like us. Going on a game drive in Kruger National Park is one of the best ways to see the Big Five. It gives you the chance to get out into the bush and experience wildlife in its natural environment. Seeing warthogs out here in Kruger, you realise just how full of character they are. They're often seen kneeling when they eat, and once they find a spot, they tend to keep coming back. We came across impala drinking, one of the most common animals you'll see out here in Kruger. They're always alert, especially near water, where predators could be close. This has been an amazing Kruger experience, one we'll never forget. This was a rare sight, a group of hippos out of the water, basking in the dry mud. They might look calm, but hippos are actually one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. Even though they mainly eat grass, they're incredibly territorial. We then came across buffalo, one of the big five. They might not look as intimidating as lions, but they're actually considered one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. Buffalo are sometimes known as the Black Death because they can be so unpredictable. They've got a reputation for charging without warning, which makes them one of the most dangerous animals out here. So far on our game drive through Kruger National Park, we'd already seen so much: lions, buffalo, giraffe and zebra, and it felt like anything could still happen. We came across wildebeest, often called the clowns of the savannah, but they're built for endurance, travelling huge distances every year. They are most frequently spotted in the central region, Satara, Orpen, Oliphant, and near Crocodile Bridge in the south. They prefer open savanna, grasslands and woodland floodplains. These tiny workers are dung beetles, nature's clean-up crew, here in Kruger National Park. They roll, bury and recycle animal waste, keeping the ecosystem healthy. Some can even navigate using the stars. Yes, stars. Small but absolutely vital to life in the wild. We stopped at Satara Rest Camp for a short break, and as we stepped out of the vehicle I found myself drawn to something different, away from the usual excitements of a game drive. I walked over to the anti-rhino poaching display. At Satara Rest Camp, we took a moment away from the drive, not to look for wildlife, but to understand what it takes to protect it. This anti-poaching display tells a powerful story. It shows the courage of the rangers who head out into the bush every day, often putting themselves in danger, to stand between these animals and those who would harm them. They don't do it alone. Highly trained dogs are part of the fight too, tracking, following scents and helping to find poachers hidden deep in the bush. But then there's the part that's hard to look at. A rhino standing there without its horns, removed not for display but as a last resort to keep it alive. It's a stark and sobering reminder of just how serious this battle is, and even more difficult to accept is that the threat doesn't always come from outside. With recent arrests of game rangers linked to poaching, it shows just how complex and fragile this fight has become. But despite all of that, there are still so many out there who care deeply, who continue to protect, to patrol and to stand their ground, because without them these incredible animals wouldn't stand a chance, and seeing this makes every sighting out there feel even more special. We came across a herd of elephants and they were incredibly close to our truck. A group of elephants is called a herd, and being this near to them in their world was just an unforgettable experience. An elephant can eat up to 150 kilograms of food a day and drink around 200 litres of water. They live in close family herds led by a matriarch, protecting and caring for one another. And just like human babies, young elephants suck their trunks for comfort. We're making our way to the Crocodile River, a place where crocodiles are frequently seen, lying motionless on the banks or hidden in the water. Hotspots like Crocodile Bridge and Nwenya Lodge are known for sightings, but in this 423 kilometre river, their true numbers remain a mystery. This is the Nile crocodile, Africa's largest crocodilian, reaching up to 6 metres in length, weighing over 700 kilos and armed with a bite force 8 times stronger than a great white shark, one of the most powerful predators on Earth. Kruger National Park is a critical stronghold for several vulture species, primarily the common white-backed vulture, but they face a severe crisis due to poisoning. These birds act as crucial nature's clean-up crew, preventing disease spread by consuming carcasses. 5 endangered, critically endangered species reside there, including lappet-faced, hooded and white-headed vultures. Ostriches are a common sight here in Kruger National Park, especially in the open savannas around Satara Rest Camp. These large, flightless birds are often seen crossing the roads, sometimes even with chicks, and despite not being able to fly, they can run at speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour. Hornbills are a common sight in Kruger National Park, often seen hopping along the ground in search of insects. With their long curved beaks, they're perfectly adapted for catching prey in the bush. The bird life in Kruger National Park is amazing, from colourful hornbills to birds of prey soaring above. It's something you don't fully appreciate until you see it for yourself. This is the African fish eagle, one of the most iconic sounds of Africa, often found near rivers and dams. It's called echoes across the bush. Kruger National Park is vast, covering nearly 20,000 square kilometres, about the size of a small country like Wales or Israel. Stretching hundreds of kilometres from north to south, it's one of Africa's largest wildlife sanctuaries. In Kruger National Park, the speed limit is strictly controlled, 50 kilometres per hour on tar roads and 40 on gravel. It's all about safety for both wildlife and visitors, and yes, you will get fined for speeding. Baboons are a common sight in Kruger National Park, often seen in large troops along the roadside or moving through the bush. Highly intelligent and incredibly social, they live in complex family groups, sometimes with more than 50 members. You'll often see them grooming each other, a behaviour that helps build strong social bonds within the troop. The young ones stick close to their mothers, riding on their backs as the group moves along. But there's always a lookout, watching for danger, ready to warn the others. And while they might seem playful, baboons are strong, clever, and always alert. Out here, there's never a dull moment when a troop of baboons is around. In Marloth Park, baboons are regular visitors, but not always predictable. They travel in troops, and when they show up, it's never just one or two. You'll find them on rooftops, balconies, even in the garden, and if there's food around, they won't hesitate to take advantage. Jackals are a common sight in Kruger National Park, especially the black-backed jackal. Always alert and on the move, they're skilled hunters, but also clever scavengers. As we head towards the exit at Crocodile Bridge, I can't help but feel a little sad. Leaving Kruger never gets easier, and this time it might be the last. We spot our final animals, quietly grazing in the shade, completely unaware of us. No leopards this trip, no rhino either. But that's the thing about this place. It's unpredictable, wild, real, and that's exactly why we keep coming back. Kruger isn't just a park, it's an animal paradise. So hearing that shows like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here are being filmed nearby, it makes you wonder and hope this wild place never turns into a theme park. Here we are, approaching the exit at Crocodile Bridge, the end of our Kruger journey. So we're back in Marloth Park one last time, before the long journey home to Vale Park, over 9 hours away. There's a quiet feeling here now, like everything is slowing down. Our regular visitors come by, almost as if they know it's time to say goodbye. It's moments like this that stay with you. The stillness, the sounds of the bush, the feeling of being completely connected to nature. And as we pack up and prepare to leave, we can't help but hope this isn't the end, because Marloth Park isn't just somewhere we stayed, it's somewhere we felt at home. A place that gets under your skin and stays with you long after you've gone. And one thing's for sure, we'll be back. If you'd like to follow more adventures from our journey, please support the channel and join us along the way. We hope to keep showing you the real Africa. Thank you for watching.